Alright, I'm currently working on one of my maps for my workshop add-on, the Alyx change, and I have found a neat and efficient way to create these tunnel cutouts here, and I want to share it with you. So I want to show you three things in this video. At first, how to create these cutouts, and more importantly, how to optimize for this calculation, and how to fix the collisions on that sewage grate. So I want to place another one right here on that wall. So right where these two faces are, I switch to full bright by pressing F5. And what I have to do is, since these belong to a larger mesh, I want to extract and combine them. So for that I mark it, I press Alt-N to extract it, and I press backspace to combine these faces. Alright, let's have a look for some grate. I already typed in grate into the model set explorer, where I can choose canal grate 0 to a V-model. Alright, let's place this somewhere here and see if that looks halfway okay with that other grate here. Yeah, this looks okay. Let's switch into all lighting by pressing F6, and yeah, this should be a nice placement here. Okay, what I see is this whole structure is 133 point something in well, width and height, and I now have to create something that will serve as my tunnel. So I go into the block tool mode, I choose cylinder and number of sides 32, so it does not look so blocky on the inside. And I will create, since the sewage well, I'm still in a grid of 8. I change it to a grid of 1. I want to have this 131 units large, just because the this sewage cap will be some kind of a lid, and I have to create the tunnel a bit smaller than that. Okay, this will do. Let's place this exactly where this thing is, where I want to have it. Beautiful. Let's see if that actually matches. Yes, it covers it completely. Alright, now I hide this thing by pressing H, and I have to, well, do the cutout now. So this is basically the part where the cutout begins. I go back into face mode to my neat quad here, and I can use the quad slice tools by pressing Control D. Now I go into the edge mode, and I will go back to unit of 8 actually, and I can now press F to bevel these two edges and place them right around that shape. I bevel these as well. You can select these lines by quickly double click. Alright, so this is our pattern ready to be cut out. Let's place this directly on that structure. Yes, so now the thing is has a complete overlay here. So go back into face mode, and I won't need this face for that structure, but I will extract it and hide it. So I press Alt N to extract it and H to hide it. Great, now I can look through my level. Okay, now select these faces around here. These are the faces, or the edges that I want to connect this tunnel with. And you can probably think about that. I do have to connect a tunnel with 32 sides, so those are 32 edges, which means I need to increase the subdivision of each of those faces twice. So on level increase subdivision, because this will create uh, 8 subdivisions here, and this means 8 edges when I go to bake subdivision. This looks a bit ugly, but we will get rid of that later. Okay, now we don't need, if I go back into face mode, the top of this cylinder. We'll only need the structure, so I remove the top, and now I select the whole cylinder and press F to invert the whole structure. Now I go back into the object mode and select these two. I press Ctrl H to hide everything else, so I can make this very easy. And select 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see where this is going. I press B to bridge them. This is really an efficient way to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And bridge it. Alright, here we have our tunnel. Press U to unhide everything. So I hide this one again, I hide that one again, and here I just select everything here, and I want to apply this material again to that because it looks better. I can create my sewer here, tunnel I mean, and I also want to do the following. These whole baked subdivisions are okay, but I don't like them, so I can basically merge these faces again, which means this thing here, this cutout, will be its own object. I will extract this by pressing Alt N. So when I go into object mode, I have this thing as a pattern to somehow use somewhere else. But I go to this, press Ctrl H to hide everything else, go back into the face mode, and by holding down the Shift key and the mouse key, I can select all these edges, all these faces here, and by pressing backspace I can combine them again. Alright, here we go. Now I will see how great I will make that. Let's hide this. I will extrude this just a bit into some direction. Wait. Yeah, this looks okay, I think. Just want to make it some kind of a fake tunnel, so I will use a simple trick. I search for a material called VR black, and I apply it to there, so when this is later lit, you won't see it. It will just be black in the on the far end. Okay, I unhide everything, and now is the moment where I use the vis optimization. Okay, so what happens here, or what is the problem here? So vis gets calculated here, and vis can only be aligned to the grid in the source in the hammer editor, and it will take a long time to compile because it will approximate this round structure using blocks. So it will look a bit, well, blocky, but I don't want that. I want basically one large Viz cluster, which is one block, or let's say, which can use this block structure. So since every single mesh that I create is by default a contributor to Viz, I can go into the properties of this mesh and say I want to exclude this from Viz. Alright, when I now go to the function here, this is called visibility contributors view. I can I can toggle what contributes to visibility and what not. I will press unhide. This was the face I never deleted at the first place, and I press Shift O to show no draw textures. You see how I did that on that other things, and I can simply use this no draw texture here, apply it there. Oh, should be a bit better. Let's get back into the face mode here, align it to the grid, and I simply extrude this here up to the size of the real tunnel I made. Perfect. Alright. So this encapsulates the whole tunnel here, but Viz will ignore it completely. So when Viz is calculated, the map looks like this. It can approximate on on block surface like that. I did the same with the whole structure here. When I go back to the full view, see that I did some kind of displacements here, which are very difficult for Viz to calculate or to be aligned on. I did not want that. I had a map where I had a lot of these displacements, and the compile time was really high because of that. And as soon as I got rid of that, using this simple trick with the no draw texture, the compile times really sped up. Okay, the last thing is there are some some collision issues with that grate. So I go back into the full mode here where I see everything. You can make them visible. I go into object mode again by pressing this button here, show collision models. And when you see this, only these things here, these rods, they have collision, but not the whole circle things and these things. So if the player comes near to that and touches that, the hand will go through. And also when you have an enemy or some kind of fighting situation with a combine that shoots at you, the combine could shoot through this metal structure here, which is bad. So I've simply solved this by make a right click on that and say selected entities convert models to editable mesh. And this will create perfect collisions and you don't have to bother about that again. But now, as I said before, every single mesh is Viz contributor by default in the Hammer editor, so you need to also go into its property now and say exclude from Viz. Now when I go back into my Viz view, everything's fine again. Alright. And also sometimes I forget that put a light probe in there, which has roughly the size of that. So the light is correctly calculated in that. I think it does not have to be part of the light map player space because it is fairly high up and the player can't touch it. So that's it. Go into full mode here again. Show me everything at full bright without editor objects. And I can work on that further. Alright, I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions or doubts or any, well, let's say, what do you want to see next? What should I show next? Should I have a look at something else? just comment. Thanks for watching.